Good
Seems
evening.
like the stuff.
It's 7 PM, time for the regular town council meeting in the green room. May we stand for the pledge, and Dennis, would you be so kind as to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And item number 2, visitors. Are there any visitors who wish to be recognized? All right, seeing none. Item number 3, the approval of minutes for January 3rd, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I should ask for abstention. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Thank you very much. Motion passes. Number 4, item number 4, appointments and reappointments. At the top of the list is Shiro Falanga, who is asking to be appointed to the Sustainability Committee, but he's not here this evening, and so we'll try to bring him in next time for an appointment. Okay. The second, Planning and Zoning recommendation to appoint Lawrence Edwards as a full member and Eddie Alberino as an alternate member to represent the town of Clinton Planning and Zoning Commission to the River Cog Regional Planning Commission. Those are recommendations from the chair of P&Z. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and that motion passes too,
Thank you.
of course.
Go to bed.
Yeah, me
Two.
too.
Oh, that Eddie Alberino? There he is.
Good night.
Next is the Police Pension Committee, and that is a committee that was represented both by Tom and by Chris Anaskovich. And we are going to need to find someone else from the council. They asked for 2 representatives from the council. We don't necessarily need to do that tonight. They meet quarterly, and the next meeting is in April. But I did go over the charter, and I spoke with Carl about it, and I don't understand it fully enough, even though I've just spoken to him about it, that I'd like him to explain in small part what it is that they do.
So Police Pension Committee, as the name suggests, is a committee that has some involvement and oversight of the police pension plan. Police pension plan is the only pension plan that we offer to employees that's here. Everyone else is in MERS, which is the state municipal employee pension plan, or they're in a 457, 401. So the role that the committee has is a little bit fiduciary, where you're receiving reports from our investment advisor. They're discussing what's going on with the market, what's going on with our investments, specifically our performance as it relates to the actuarial assumptions on the pension plan. So a lot of it is going over a fiduciary cycle of what you should be knowing as somebody who's overseeing town funds, and understanding the ins and outs of cash flows as it relates to the pension plan. There would also be actions if there's a retirement to approve somebody's pension calculation. That's the actuary has completed the pension calculation, so it's been prepared to our standards. The individual pensioner has selected what level of benefit that they want. It just needs the committee to put its final stamp on. And then the committee would be involved in any other policy issues, if there were any.
Okay, any questions?
Who do they, so they interact with the actuary, and the actuary reports information to them?
No, you interact with the investment advisor.
Okay. And then who do they share that information to, the town council or to the police commission?
It does not go to the police commission. The chairman of the police commission is on it. So it's the committee itself. The pension advisor is giving you their feedback. They are an independent entity. They don't get a commission. They're a fee only, so they're advising us on what's the best place to position our funds for efficiency of execution to make sure you're getting the best investment return for the lowest possible fee.
Yeah. So I would think that the police themselves, or the recipients of the pension, would want to understand have explained to them what decisions are being made on their behalf or no?
The president of the police union has the ability to attend the meetings if they are not a voting member.
Got it.
So it's the pension committee itself has to do the work.
Is there anyone here who would be interested in being
So they
part
don't
of
meet
this?
in the evening, they meet in the morning at 9 o'clock during the work week.
And that's 4 times a year.
Correct.
Okay.
I would have expertise in the area, but I'm not allowed to be a fiduciary, so I think it would violate the terms of my employment.
Okay. Chris, you're
I'll stay.
there. You're there.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, we don't necessarily have to do this tonight, but we are looking for someone to fill this position.
The
So we can-
requirement is 2 council members?
Yes, they require 2,
Okay.
and we have 1. Shall we put this off until the next meeting so you can think about it? All right,
We have
great.
time.
Okay. Item number 5, receive 824 report from Planning and Zoning Commission. And we are asked to acknowledge the receipt of a positive report regarding Pearson and passing that on to the developer. And we don't need a motion, but we are to accept the report, which is a next step. And Carl, might I take this moment to ask the question for you to let us know the step that comes next?
So by state statute, you have to do this referral, which is why it's called 8-24, because that's a specific state statute. Anytime a municipality is going to sell or purchase real estate, you have to make a referral to the Planning and Zoning Commissions to make sure that they weigh in, either approving or rejecting the real estate transaction because it advances or hinders the town's plan of conservation development. In this particular case, you have a positive report back from Planning and Zoning saying that moving Pearson and selling it for the use anticipated furthers the town's plan of conservation and development. So there really is no action under state statute for you to take. You just have to acknowledge the report. So this would be, the next step after this would be moving forward with a real estate transaction, figuring out what that looks like, working with the town attorney, working with the developer's attorney. Ultimately, that would tee up for a special town meeting, but we're not there yet because we're still working on what the language of the agreement would look like.
Thank you. All right, so that's understood. We accept, we acknowledge the positive report. All right, excellent. On to 6, line item transfers. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, Chiro, how are you doing? Okay, we can't go back. That's great. Okay, so we're going back to item number 4, Chiro Falanga, a Democrat. He is up for Sustainability Committee for a term until June 30th, 2024. Does anybody have questions for Chiro? No?
Sorry, Anthony.
Thank you.
I was in the wrong spot.
You signed up for it, you're in.
Yeah, all right.
I'll make the motion to
Questions?
approve.
Thank you very much. Second? Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right. Motion carries. Thank you.
Good job,
Thank you,
Chiro.
Chiro. Okay.
Now you go home.
So now, number 6, line item transfers. And we are looking at 1 tonight. And I will ask Carl once again to address this line item transfer.
So this is to create funding to be able to hire the recruiter that you've decided to go with to help you in selecting a new town manager. You need to provide an appropriation for that, so this would be moving money out of contingency and putting it into a professional services line item in the town manager's budget. This is the full contractual amount, which assumes travel and advertising expense and the like. If you remember the proposal you received from Randy, your actual experience may be that you spend less, but this covers all of the bases per her proposal.
Okay. And everybody has that in front of them, a line item transfer for 24.5 from into contingency. Is there a motion to
from contingency.
From contingency. Is there a motion? All right, second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, and number 7, the town council policy statement. We have agreed on a subcommittee for communications. But now we need to discuss exactly what it is that we are allowing that subcommittee to do. Hence, this in your packet, the topic, official communications on town website and town social media, in which Carl has written policy for us. Has everybody had a chance to read that?
Yes.
All right. Does anybody have any discussion
I'd like
about
to
items?
suggest a couple modifications.
Okay.
There's a line, all members of the subcommittee will approve ideas and draft content. I think with the check and balance of the communications going through the town manager's department, that all members of the committee shouldn't have to approve, just given there could be a situation in summertime where Carrie's vacation lines up to Chris's vacation, and then we're offline for a month and wouldn't be able to get anything approved. So I think with the check and balance in there of the town manager reviewing it, that all members of the subcommittee, when available, would be a good substitute.
Okay. Any ideas there? How
Would
do you
have
feel
would
about
you
that?
have a minimum number then?
There's 3 of us, so 2 sounds good.
Yeah.
Dennis, Chris, Mike? Good? You're good?
And the other one, communications and ideas draft content shall be provided to the town manager. Just future-proofing this, maybe town manager or their designee, if the next town manager wants to offload this onto someone that absolutely loves social media and website content, that'll be an option in the future.
The committee should not be communicating with directly and giving instructions to an appointee of the town manager. That's the charter. So
Okay.
you have to run it through the manager, otherwise, once the manager gets it and they decide to assign it to someone
Yeah,
else.
that's what he said.
Then that's what happens. To have it go to somebody other than who the manager directs, as a council member giving direction to an employee and appointee of the manager.
But you said the town manager's the designee, right?
No,
you didn't.
Carl is correct in this one, so thank you. I retract my last statement.
Okay. So with the one amendment, is that acceptable? A motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, second? Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to officially reappoint the 3 members of the subcommittee now that we have an official policy statement, or does that carry? Carries. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Let's see, now we're on number 8, the financial monthly report.
So you have a streamlined financial report. This is similar to what you've gotten in the past from Sue in terms of the back pages and the detail. Just doesn't have that narrative that Sue would write in the front. So considering where we are with the staffing, it's just to give you the real numbers. And then if you have any questions, you can certainly follow up with me and we'll get you answers to the questions.
Any questions from anybody now? All right. Then we will move forward to number 9, the chairman's report. All I have to report is that we are happy to have Mike join us. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and we look forward to doing it. All right, thank you. And Carl's chairman's report?
So town manager's report will be verbal because there's a lot going on, and I didn't have time to write one for you. So first and foremost is, as it relates to the agenda, I'll need you to amend the agenda to pass a revised resolution for the fireboat. So this is to comply with feedback from the attorney handling the leasing through Bank of America. So that the guts of it is basically the same, but there's a whole bunch of extra stuff at the bottom which represents IRS and legal requirements that,
Any substantive change?
excuse me,
Any substantive change?
substantive change, no. still the intent is to move forward with the lease. We anticipate being able to close on the lease by the end of this month and wrap up the financing of the boat, assuming this is approved tonight. So that would require you one motion to amend the agenda, and then a second motion to actually act on the resolution.
I move to amend the agenda to include this resolution.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And I make a motion to adopt the resolution as proposed.
Second?
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Other items under my report. Budget season is moving forward, so I'm going through scrubbing the budget. I've had back and forth conversations with the superintendent over her capital requests to be able to get a better understanding of priorities and timing, as well as contingencies associated with some of her requests. The department head reviews are completed, so I'm building the budget document for presentation to you in February. The bids for operating the concession stand at the marina, as well as the concession stand at the beach, will go out by the end of this month, looking for operators to run both of those in the upcoming season. So we'll see what we get from that process for new operators. The library RFP was issued for the internal design study of library space. 6 proposals came in. I've given a copy to the library director to review. I've reviewed it. It was not clear to me when the council discussed this last whether there was going to be any kind of building committee or council engagement. It was something that was thrown out as a potential talking point when we were going over it at the time, but it never moved to a point of closure. So if you want Mary Beth and I to make a pick on who we think is most appropriate, we can do that. If the council wants to be engaged and have a building committee, then I'd kind of need to know that also.
Maybe have that discussion now.
You can have it now, you can have it on a future agenda. It's just, the proposals are in, I've reviewed them already. The pricing has a pretty wide swing. The approaches are interesting, but it's just really more whether you want to be engaged in it or not. And this is a follow-up to comments that have been made before. Other items coming up, our bond anticipation notes will be sold tomorrow morning. This is rolling our pre-existing bands one more year before we have to convert them over to bonds. So we hope for a good sale tomorrow at a reasonable interest rate. And then just an update for the Middlesex County Revitalization Commission. They they received grants from the state to provide business operating grants. The first year of offering those grants was in 2023. A grant was provided to Coffee Break. A similar grant is also offered through Sector, which is the Southeastern Connecticut Economic Revitalization Group. Clinton businesses are also eligible for that, and Fringe received a grant on that front. The MCRC grant, it's expected that by the end of January, that promotional materials will start to flow, so we will push that out. In the past, I shared it with the chamber so that they could push it out for town businesses. The grant round is anticipated to be opened in February, giving businesses an opportunity to make their submittals, and then they're reviewed internally by MCRC before making final awards to eligible businesses. And that's it for my report. I've got other items, but they're all in executive session.
So that MCRC grant stuff, that's, the Middlesex Chamber has a person from our chamber on it, right? Is there somebody from the Clinton Chamber that's on the Middlesex Chamber? So they would know more about that?
MCRC is different than the chamber. So I've taken that information and I've shared it with Paul so that he has it. So when it first came out, I gave him everything from an awareness standpoint so that he could put it out in their email blast. And then if you're a member of the chamber, the Middlesex Chamber or the local chamber, you would get feedback on that.
On the library, we were going to decide whether or not we would decide now or whether it would be us or you. That's for the design, that's for the bid for the design, right?
It's not a design, it's a study.
Study.
As presented by the library director, she wanted to have somebody help take a look at what was possible to reconfigure some of the internal spaces of the building. So we have an RFP that went out. Wasn't terribly specific because I didn't have a terribly specific scope of work coming out of the library, just wanting to see what the potentials were. So we have 6 design firms have responded. So they all have their own different take and spin on it, which then has a different take and cost. So it's just.
So study first, and then after we have a study, then we would, if we liked it and we were going to go forward, then we'd hire somebody to go to do the design. And then after that, for a while, we'd pick a design, and then you'd have to go put out the bid for construction if we decided to go that far. So there's still a couple layers to go.
There's a number of layers, including how you're going to pay for it. So that may involve bonding, which then may require going to the public. So there's an awful lot to unpack once you get the study completed for next steps and decision. If you're going to go to building, I would assume you would want to have a definite building committee at that point in time, but I've also dealt with projects where a building committee has been involved with some of the original architectural decisions.
And you said there's a fairly wide range of proposals on the cost of the study. Can you give us the ranges, like the lowest to the highest?
I did not write that down and bring it with
Just
me.
ballpark?
Mid-20s to mid-90s. It's kind of a swing.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that now? Does anybody here want to be involved in that, or should we ask Mary Beth and Carl to make the decision? Anybody specifically?
Nobody wants to do it, then just leave it up to them.
Yeah, this,
Anybody wanna
yeah,
do
I
it?
think they're good.
No? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, would you mind?
Nobody's clamoring.
No.
And then one last question on your report. You talked about the beach and the town places that they're out to bid. We lowered the rent, right? Did we lower the rent?
It wasn't a matter of lowering the rent, it was the council agreeing that we were going to pivot away from what we've done in the past to try and make it a significant moneymaker and look at it more as a community amenity. Over, I think, 6 years ago, it went out for bid, and the intent was to make it a moneymaker. When we put it back out for bid, the decision from the council was it should still be a moneymaker. I'm not sure that really worked out for the town long run for stability and type of operator. So this is an opportunity to go back to the market and not necessarily look at it as we would like to make some money off of it, but it isn't going to be a big moneymaker. Which is really what it was before, when it had a popular following and it was a thing. I think you kind of lost that when you previously made a push to make money out of it.
And that's just the dock, right?
Well, it's the dock and the beach.
Free.
Yeah, I mean, they're two different ones. So the dock has always been an attempt to get something out of it. The beach, the Park and Rec Commission would prefer that they just have somebody there.
Right.
So they've been inclined to recommend to the council that you look at it as $1 a year operation. So you're just looking for somebody to be there, do the hours, do the cleaning, do whatever is there in order to meet the needs of the public that are at the beach.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Moving on to 11, council discussions. Are there any discussion?
The new chairs are fantastic. Thank you, Carl.
Wait till you get the new tables.
The new tables are nice, too.
All right. On to 12, town council liaison reports. Any tonight?
I was going to talk about the planning and zoning referral to our committee, but that was already on the agenda.
All right, great. Anyone else?
Police Commission, just point in their budget. They're right where they should be, right at the halfway point. They're doing fine. And nothing else new. Everything, they have their recruit there at the academy and also. Everything's just rolling along nicely at the police department.
All right. Got it. We'll have to find a place for Mike in the future. Liaison. I'm sure we will. All right, so 13 is executive session. Is there a motion to take us into executive session and invite Mary and Carl?
Motion to.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I will begin with a motion to add an agenda item. Is there a motion to add an agenda item?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All right. A motion to ratify, I'm sorry. Oh, all in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
all right. So there's a motion to ratify the Human Services Director. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next, I would like a motion to ratify the town manager's choice of the Deputy Emergency Director.
What 14?
I'm sorry?
Interim first.
Oh, you want to do that first? Okay.
Yeah, that's 14.
All right. Pursuant to Section 812(1)E of the Town Charter, the Town Council, is this a motion I'm reading?
Yeah.
Looking for the motion to hereby appoint Richard Brown to serve as an interim town manager for an initial period of 180 days with an effective date of February 19, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. And then finally, the motion to ratify the town manager's choice of Deputy Emergency Director.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye. Aye, aye, aye.